Okay, now it's good. I think it was just the Wi-Fi. Yeah. Comcast can never get the Wi-Fi right. Okay, we're good. Okay, so I'm back. Okay, so back to what I was saying, because I don't know where I was at and all of that. Anyways, so back to what I was saying. So, my statements are personal opinions, are proven facts. Whatever decisions or actions you take, you are 100% responsible and liable for those. You can change your future. It's never set in stone. And I'm not a licensed medical doctor, counselor, attorney, or law enforcement official. You can still ask me those kinds of questions. But for legal medical advice or treatment, please consult a licensed professional. And remember, you can always change your future. It is never set in stone. You want to connect with a loved one in spirit? Who do you want me to connect with? And I'll try to connect and bring through any messages or information that can help to validate that they're still with you. If you want to be on camera, you have to request it on Instagram. There's a little button right here. Just click that, and then it'll request to be a guest on camera. And then I'll pick some people towards the second half of the session. If you want to ask me about your life, be specific with your questions. If you ask me general questions like, do I have a message for you? What do I see? Those are general questions. I'm just going to skip you. So just FYI, I'm not going in any particular order. I'm bouncing around. So I'm just going to be all over the place. So just FYI for those of you. I do try to pick new people every single time I do this. So I try not to pick the same people over and over and over again. If you want to know more about me, what do I do? Stuff that I have available that's out there for free. All of my past predictions, some of them, not all of them, are on my website. You can go to my website. Don't direct message or private message me for, like information, or you want to book a session or whatever, because it literally is it's that simple. It's just going to my site. So go to my website, fernandomarone.com. Everything is on there. Also, the free psychic development class is on there as well. I think that's it. And before we get started, I do want to say, for those of you who've been following along with the dream that I've been having, or the dreams that I've been having since last week. So now we have a hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico, or about to hit the Gulf of Mexico. They're saying it's going to be going to Louisiana. So that may be good news for Texas. Not good news for Louisiana. So definitely, and they've been through enough of that, right? But I think the whole Gulf Coast has been through enough hurricanes. But anyways, they're saying it's going to go to Louisiana. So, I mean, that's what they're saying. So we'll see what happens. But I just still want y'all in Houston to be prepared in case this thing decides to just randomly shift for some reason or moves. Y'all have y'all's goods, and y'all are prepared for, no electricity or flooding or whatever, so that y'all aren't caught off guard, okay? But if it goes over to Louisiana, then those of you in Houston or in Texas are in the clear. Those of you in Louisiana, you should already be planning and be ready to head out, just because this might turn into a much stronger storm than they're prepared to predict, okay? All right, guys. So I'm not going in any particular order, like I said, so I'm just going to be bouncing around here. Kieran, I'm 9 weeks pregnant, and I'd love to know the gender of my baby. Please. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a girl. This is not my strongest thing to predict, but I'm just gonna put that out there. But I'm gonna say it's a girl. So that's what I'm gonna say. And is it your last baby? I want to say yes. However, in 2 years from now, between 2.5 years from now, there might be another opportunity for pregnancy at that time, or a potential pregnancy. So be prepared. There might be another chance of that at that time. However, I'm not seeing any more babies, so I'm thinking you either won't progress with that, or there's just something going on with your reproductive system at that time. But I'm gonna say I think it's your last baby. Destiny, will I have a healthy pregnancy? I feel like your pregnancy will be okay. There is one thing that you'll have to be aware of. If you start having weird fluid build up in your legs, and if you also start having more leg cramping, it may have to do with the pressure on your back. It may not have anything to do with the baby. So just be aware of that, okay? Emily Chapa, hi, hey Ferny, are there any messages from my dad? Thank you. Yeah, I keep hearing happy birthday, so I'm gonna say that either there's a birthday within 30 days from today, forward or backwards, or he's acknowledging a birthday right now, because I just saw the birthday sign, so I'm thinking that we're within 30 days of a birthday right now, so he might be acknowledging that. He also keeps acknowledging, interesting, I'm seeing 2 vehicles. I'm trying to figure out if you've just gotten another vehicle, or y'all have his vehicle and then there's another vehicle y'all are getting. But there's something about having 2 vehicles and then a swap or a switch up that he's making reference to. He is also acknowledging the number 11. So November the 11th of a month may be connected. Okay. I asked him about the vehicle swapping or that change with the vehicle. He gave me a thumbs up. So I'm assuming this is going to mean a positive thing. Paula, hey Ferny, I was wondering when you see pregnancy for me. When I ask myself about baby energy, I know you're asking me if you're pregnant right now. I don't know if you're pregnant right now, but when I ask myself, because to get around it, I have to ask myself a different question. When do I see baby energy for you? I see baby energy for you like November, December. So I'm thinking there's baby energy for you around the end of the year. So I'm going to say maybe, probably not right now, but I'm thinking like November, December is when I'm seeing baby energy around you. Okay. Don't be surprised also if someone close to y'all announces they're pregnant this month or in the following or in September. And then, which, and then you might feel bad. But then November, December, there's also baby energy around that time. So just FYI. Sienna. Hey, Fernando. I've been dating really great men, but I want to know if you see me settling into a relationship sometime soon. Any details on the person? I appreciate you sharing your gut. Yeah. So you might have two options come up. One I think is going to come up in about 7 months from now, where there's an opportunity to date somebody. Their first name starts with I want to say the first. It's gonna sound weird. I keep thinking of a pickle. I don't know why I'm thinking of a pickle, but I keep thinking of like dill pickle. So I don't know if their name is Dill or it just is spelled similar. But that's what I'm seeing. That's an option that comes up for you. So about 7 months, there may be an option for a relationship. That's one option. There's another one that comes up 1 full year after that first one. The first option. This person that I'm seeing in 7 months, the timing might be off, meaning that there might be something wrong with the timing, or the timing's just not going to be easy for y'all to kind of come together. So it may seem like it's just not going to blossom, and you may just kind of get frustrated with kind of working around some of those details. But then the second one might work better. I still think the first one could work as well, but you would have to be patient, and that's the problem, is like how much patience do you have? So I think that may be a part of the thing. The second one though, and A-N-T is the name. So it's like an Antoine. It's got an A-N-T sounding name to it. Okay? Anthony. Let's see. Germ C. Hola. Just got a new job. Will I stay in this position for a long time? I actually think you might stay in this role or this position for about 1 year and 7 months. So you might stick with it. But the responsibilities may change midway next year. So midway 2022, the responsibilities may change. And then you might actually start prepping for another change, either within that same organization or into a higher position or role. Because I feel like there's going to be an opportunity to start to take on some more responsibility next year, and then summer of next year, and then start to prep for it. What it reminds me of is whenever I used to work at Starbucks and I was a shift supervisor, and then I was promoted to assistant manager. And I was an assistant manager for about 1 year before I was promoted to store manager. So it almost reminds me of that. And I had just gone into assistant manager just to be an assistant manager. I wasn't even thinking of going into management, but then it just ended up going that way anyway. So. And Connor. Ferny, will my husband stay in Florida for a longer time? Will he come back to Illinois? I feel like he'll come back, but he might come back and then go back and then come back again. So he might actually come back. When he comes back, that might be, I keep thinking of 3. So I'm going to say 3 weeks. I'm not thinking it's 3 months. I'm thinking it's 3 weeks, but then he may come back and then he may go back again. And then he may not. And then after that, he may have to wait until the holidays or the beginning of 2022. So something may change where he may have to go back and then come back again. And then around the holidays is when I think you'll have him. Okay? I do think he'll come back to Illinois. Summer Jones, I lost my baby. I lost my Bobby on New Year's Day. Could you tell me if he's still with me and if there's any messages for me, please? Yeah. Yes, he's still with you. What's interesting about this? So this is gonna be weird. So once when my friend Chelsea passed away, she and hit her boyfriend who was with her and we were because he used to come and visit me when I was in Houston, and we would just have these like long talks and stuff in the back patio and such. And one time I got some sake from Trader Joe's, which I never found that sake again. It was delicious though. But anyways, I got some sake. And then we were in the backyard and we were having some sake and we were talking about stuff, and we were talking about Chelsea because he was healing, he was recovering from that whole loss. And as we were talking about her, I think we had even said something about the signs from her aren't going to be typical because, she's Chelsea, right? She's like a whole new ball game. And in that moment that I said that, or that we were talking about that, a branch from the tree above us broke off, fell right into his coffee cup, and then splashed on him. And I just was laughing because I was just like, that's pretty much what it is. So with your Bobby, if you have you might have an experience where you're like sitting down and you're thinking about him or you're talking to him or whatever, and then something comes off the wall or something falls on top of you, like fabric-y, like curtains or like fabric falls on you, which is, it's gonna sound weird, I know, but I keep seeing you like sitting there and talking or whatever, and then something fabric-y falls on you, and then you're like what is going on? So there's something like that he might do to get your attention. He also acknowledges the month of May, so the month of May may be significant. He also acknowledges, thank you. I keep thinking of like the May 20th of May, or the 20th is also connected because I got May and then it's a 20th, so I would say 20 is also connected, but there's a reference there. He also keeps acknowledging he's doing this, so there might be a bracelet that is special, or it's going to be it's either custom made or it's something about making something that's custom, because he's acknowledging something like that as well that may be referencing him as well. Yes, he is still with you. He is still with you. He's actually opening your hands and he's putting a ring in your hands. Whenever I see that, that usually means someone who's like acknowledging that there's love coming to you that you need to be open to, or where they're like giving people permission to move forward or move on. Like there's a reference to that because he's acknowledging that as well. Okay. But it's almost like love. There might be love coming into your life, or new love coming in that you may need to be prepared for. And I want to say he's almost like saying, like, you open your heart up again. Don't keep your heart closed. Open your heart up again. Okay? Either that, or you just got into, or there's a new engagement or a new marriage, because that's the other reason why I see a ring. But normally when I see that, it's because I see it where it's being put on the finger. But in this case, it's like being open, which means be prepared, be open to this new connection. Julie Frank. Hello, Ferny. I'm new to you and have a scheduled reading in October, and I can't wait. Do you see anything important before then? The only thing, something that I think you need to be aware of is there might be a weird pulling sensation in your upper back or shoulder. And if you start to feel any weird like tingling sensation or any weird like burning sensation, it might actually be a nerve that is getting like triggered. So if you start to have headaches or start to have migraines, it might not actually be a headache or a migraine. It might be because of the nerve in the back. And I don't even know how that would be affecting your brain or affecting the headaches, but there's something there that you might have to pay attention to. Also, you might need to give your digestive system a little bit of a boost, because I feel like your digestive system may go out of whack and you may start having some weird digestive stuff. Normally when I see it this way, it usually reminds me of whenever someone goes to a restaurant and they eat something that's not fully cooked and then they end up getting like food poisoning. I'm not saying you're going to go and get food poisoning, but make sure your food's cooked. And if something doesn't smell right, doesn't look right, just don't eat it. So in the next month or so, just be careful. But there is like a pulling or muscle thing that may come up to be aware of. Okay. Billy Taylor. Hey, Fernie, do you see Brittany, keeping Evie, are the parents getting her back? Or the parents getting her back? I feel that there's an intent to get her back, and they may even move forward in that direction with it. But either something falls through before that happens, or that just is reversed, and then she might end up with Evie. So I would say she probably will end up with Evie, but there might be an intent for the parents to go forward with it, and then that actually gets like canceled, or something doesn't work out with that situation. Cool Hand Luke. Happy Friday, Ferny. Do you see any possible baby energy in the near future for my fiance and I? Thanks. I think y'all may have to be patient, just because I'm not seeing anything until like August or September of next year. I'm thinking it's next year. I'm not thinking it's this year. But I'm thinking August or September, about a year from now, is what I'm thinking. I'm seeing baby energy around you. Okay. Hey, Betty. Let's see. Amy, how is my relationship going to go with my boyfriend? Are we going to stay together? And does he really love me? I would say I feel 60% that this will go forward, so it's not a high number. I don't feel confident that the relationship will make it, so you might have to continue to work on it if you really want to try to make this work out. I do think it doesn't have to do with love. I mean, people can love each other. It's not about love. It's about who has the capacity to be in a relationship, or who's like grown up enough to want to be in one. And I actually think this might not be just your boyfriend. I think both of y'all, to some extent, this is both of y'all may be contributing to the challenges in the relationship. But as of right now, I feel 60% that it will go forward. So that's not a high number. So you're going to have to keep working on things. Okay. If you can make it to December, then I think you have a better shot of making it. But if you start running into issues again, and then y'all break, or y'all take a bit of a break from each other before December, I'm thinking y'all aren't going to stay together, which is what I'm thinking is going to end up happening. Chelly920, hi Ferny. When will my next relationship be, and how will we meet? It's interesting, because you might find yourself in a situation where you're in one relationship and you're trying to get into another one, or there's an option for another one. So don't be surprised if you actually find yourself trying to work out something with someone that's already either been in the picture, or someone that's already to some extent connected. But I feel like, let's see, what was the question again? When is your next relationship? Next relationship, I would say, would probably not happen until, I would say, summer of next year. So, no, I'm sorry. Summer of 2023. So summer of 2023 is when I'm thinking the next one will happen. Or the next opportunity for a relationship will come up. The person's name starts with a T, like T-I. T-I? Yeah, T-I. I think you meet this person through a friend. So it feels like you meet this person through like the grapevine, or through a friend. Remember, guys, if y'all are general with your questions, like, tell me something, or what do you want to say to me, or, what do you see with my life? Is too general, y'all. Y'all need to be specific, or I'm just going to pass y'all up. Rosie Russell. Hi, Ferny. Will I get a job offer soon? You might actually have 3 job offers come up within the next 2 months. So there might be 3 job opportunities. 2 of them don't feel that great. So 2 of them might just be like things that you're not even interested in, or it's just not going to work for you. But then one of them does feel like it's a better fit, but you might have to wait a couple months. So I'm going to say 2 months or so, and you might have a few different options that you can play with. Go over here. Alana LeBlanc, do you see my business doing well? I think your business will be okay. However, I do think that when you get into November, things seem to either slow down, or it's gonna feel a little bit disconnected, and November, December might feel a little bit like a strain. So you may need to be prepared for that. So yeah, because I feel like there's 2 or 3 months of like a lull that happens, which I'm thinking starts in November. So you might see growth, or you might see some positive business before then, but then for that period, for that 2 or 3 month period, you're probably going to have to be prepared for that. Okay. Lisbeth Moreno. Hello, Ferny. Do you see me getting pregnant soon? Yeah, you might actually find yourself pregnant within a month. So this might actually be pretty soon. If you're not already pregnant, actually. So. Chloe Olivia, Ferny, any career opportunities for me? So I think that you're going to have. Not right now. You might have to be patient because I'm not seeing much going on until maybe spring of next year, like February, March of next year. So you might have to be patient. Also, it's going to be weird because one of the opportunities or this opportunity may have to do with a venue or a place that, or a company that deals with like concerts or with the entertainment industry. So for example, like places that hold concerts or places that promote things, there's something that has that feeling to it. And so it might be connected to something like that. And what I think is going to happen is when you go into that job, you're going to end up doing that for a few months and then deciding that you probably want to get some formalized training. And then I think you're going to actually go back to school or go into a school program. And then that's going to be the career you actually end up going into long term. It may also be medical, by the way. Yeah. Steph. Hi, Ferny. Twice in one day. Awesome. Can you tell me if I have to look at a particular part of my health or my husband's? We have been trying to get pregnant and it's just not happening. So, you might have a tipped uterus, or you might have, because it feels like your uterus is tipped or tilted, and that might be contributing to some of the lack of this happening. That's how I'll put it. Y'all might have to consider a different option or trying this a different way. I'm looking at like his health and his like junk. So I'm trying to figure out if there's anything there that he needs to be aware of. I don't think so. I do think that his he may need to pay attention to his like glucose levels or like his blood sugar levels, because there might be a little bit of a thing there that is affecting that, but I don't think it would be a big deal. So I'm thinking it has more to do with just your uterus and just this being tipped or tilted. I do think that you'll get pregnant. Keep going, keep giving it a shot. Also, check the pH balance of your reproductive system, because the pH may be off and it may be contributing to less of a habitable environment. So you might need to check that. Okay. I'm thinking that you'll be able to get it. I'm thinking you'll be able to get pregnant before the year's over with. So I'm gonna say keep going, keep playing with it and trying different things. But I'm thinking you'll be able to get pregnant before the year's over with. And when I said you might have to try something different or go a different route, I'm not thinking you'll have to go and have a procedure done. I'm thinking you may have to increase a certain type of hormone, I'm thinking you may have to take something like a supplement to increase a certain type of hormone, just because it makes it more possible. So I'm thinking that's all that it would take. I don't feel like you would have to go through this whole song and dance to get pregnant. Miss Jenny, please, for any messages from my mom, and does my daughter miss or think of me? Yeah, so first of all, with mom, mom is a butterfly. So if you have butterflies coming around you, that's going to be a sign from your mom. What's interesting also is with mom is I keep seeing Okay, I don't know how to interpret this. First of all, I keep thinking of like watercolors and like pictures, but then I keep seeing books and like actual books. You know, whenever like someone is making pictures for books, I'm seeing something like that. I'm not sure if there's something that your mom is referencing about a picture being created or a picture that she is either tied to or that you that was put into a book that may be connected to her, or there's something that's in a book that she did or that she was a part of that is included in some like other book. It's not like a book like if I made a book and then it's all my stuff. It's more like a collaboration with other people's stuff. And it's almost like when I'm looking at like it almost reminds me of a newsletter or like a story that is put in with other people's stories or other people's stuff in something like this. So your mom is acknowledging or making reference to something like this. I'm not sure that's how I'm interpreting it, because when I saw those watercolors or those like pictures in watercolors, it almost reminded me of like actually doing watercolors and then including something in like an image in like a book or like some sort of newsletter. So it's something like that she's making reference to. You might have to think about that, but she's acknowledging something like that. She also is acknowledging thank you. If you ever have a feeling of someone touching your face or someone like touching your hair, that's mom, because she also comes around and does that as well. I feel like your mom sometimes tries to snap you out of what you are going through sometimes. And I almost feel like she's almost acknowledging or blaming herself, because either she might have had the same habit or she may have not tried hard enough to work on this. So there's something to that I think she's wanting to acknowledge. She's also acknowledging number 7. So the 7th of a month may be significant, or the month of July may be connected. With your daughter, I'm hearing her voice as if she's singing. So I don't know if you have a video of her singing or there was a thing with her and singing that's like a thing. So she's acknowledging because I feel like I'm hearing her voice, but I'm hearing it singing or like making sounds like singing. So there's a reference to that with your daughter. She also keeps acknowledging thank you. I don't know if you have a garden that you've planted for her or you've put something in the soil or garden that's connected to her as well, because she's putting something in the ground for me. So I would assume this means gardening or something that's soil based. Actually, this might be like you know, whenever you go to like bird baths or you get these little plaques that say home sweet home, or like this, there's something like this that she's making reference to that goes in a garden that goes in the yard or something. There's something like that she's making reference to. She also keeps acknowledging thank you. She's showing me the number 12. 13 or 12? 12? Let's go with 12. So 12, so I'm going to say the 12th is significant. She also keeps acknowledging, I'm sorry, it's either the 12th or the 21st, because she flipped it on me and she showed me 2-1. So I think it's actually the 21st. So there might be a 21st reference to her, or she's acknowledging the 21st being significant. There's also a, I'm seeing Peter Pan, Piper, Poppin, and then I'm seeing an animal. So there's an animal that might be with her that's either got a name like that, or there's a reference to like a Pippin or Poppin or Piper. There's like something there that she's making reference to, and then she's showing me an animal as well. So I'm assuming she's acknowledging there's an animal with her that has a tie or association to that, okay? And she doesn't miss you because she's with you. She comes around you all the time. So your daughter does come around you quite a bit, actually. So, but as far as like being in life and missing you, as far as spending time in physical person, well, yeah, of course. I mean, who wouldn't? But I think that she's with you a lot more than you realize. Okay. She's also doing this, so you might need to journal, or if you've been journaling or writing her letters, she's aware of this. PH Diva. Hey, do you see things working out with me and any of the guys I'm entertaining? I do have one favorite. So the favorite. You might want to pay more attention, just because what I feel may come up with that one is I wouldn't say that he's not being honest. I just don't think he's being 100% clear with his own situation. That may be connected to a past relationship or circumstances with the past relationship. So you may just have to be patient and keep your eyes open, because there may be more to it than either he's expressed or is sharing. Yeah, you might just have to be patient with that one. I'm not thinking that's the one that's gonna take off, but I mean, just be patient, right? Just give it a shot and see if you can get it to go somewhere. I'm not really feeling much with the other ones. I feel like that's like, I almost feel like within a month, I don't feel like I feel confident with the other ones at all. So the other ones might drop out of it altogether. Janine Hornback. Hi, Ferny. What past lives do you see for me? I do think you have one past life where you were either a gymnast or you were in the circus. The reason why is the first thing I saw when I saw this was, like, Barlins, what is it? Barlins and Baileys, what is it called? The circus thing, the people who are swinging in the air, like I'm seeing that, but I want to go back. So I feel like you might have been a gymnast or you might have been a part of like an entertainment venue or circus in one of your lifetimes. You were still female, but it was like something like that, that I feel you were a part of. It's interesting because even though you were good at that, I feel like something happened where you ended up falling and you kind of were disabled after that. So if you ever have a fear of heights or fear of falling off like a high point, that may be where some of that comes from. So be aware of that. Flame of the soul. What messages my guides have for me? They want you to stop questioning and waiting and just make the move or make the change. So I almost feel like they're just telling you, like, just do it and stop waiting for like an ideal opportunity or ideal situation. And sometimes you just have to trust it. So I feel like there's a big old push to 100% like go forward or move forward. Latika. I'm sorry, Latika. Hi, Ferny. I am applying for my citizenship for my daughters and myself. When do you see it happening for us? Also, I am launching my business. Would it be successful? Thank you. As far as the citizenship is concerned, I feel like if you go ahead and apply, I feel like they may give you an idea that it might take about 3 years, maybe even more. But there's something that you would qualify for because of the amount of time you've already been in the system or because of something you had already done, which would qualify you for like a shorter time. So it might actually take less than 3 years. It might only be like 2.5 years. But I am seeing it being like a 2.5 year process. Andrea, do you see me in a long-term relationship anytime soon? Thank you. Andrea, so here's the thing. Some people, someone's going to want to try to set you up because you can be kind of picky. So you might need to be prepared because I feel like you need to kind of be more open than you are. However, someone may try to set you up before the year is over with. I want to say this is around November, December. Let them set you up. Just because even with what they mention or what it sounds like, the person sounds like, it may not 100% actually be what it sounds like. And so I would like give it a shot. But it feels like there's someone that you might meet at the end of the year. Right. The name Raimundo, there's like a Ray connection to the name. Okay? Oh, shoot. Where am I going? What am I doing? Aleja Velasco. I'm currently in Houston. Should I love to California for my job? Should I move to California for a job? I think that's what you're asking me. I can't tell you what to do, so I can't tell you what you should or shouldn't do. However, I get a feeling you will end up moving from Houston. I'm not sure if it's going to be moving to that part of California for that job, but I feel like you will end up moving from Houston. So I'm not thinking you're gonna stay in Houston. I actually think that by next summer you'll already be in the works of moving. So by summer of 2022 you'll be in the process of moving or making a relocation happen. But it's entirely up to you. But I feel like you're gonna move anyway. So I mean, if you want, there's actually two moves. There's two moves. But I'm definitely seeing a move for you by summer of next year. So I would say there's a move from Houston by summer of next year. It is out of state, so you're not going to stay in the same state. But there might be two moves actually. So there might be one before then. But I'm still thinking. I'm thinking that the one that's next summer is the one that I think is going to be cinching it for you. And it is out west, by the way. So it is out west. It could be Arizona, but it's possible it is California. But I'm going that way. So yeah, that would make sense to me. Be respectful, privacy. Hi, Ferny. Any input on my marriage? Does my husband still love me? Does he resent me? I feel like your husband is just, some people change, and I feel like your husband's going through a personality change, where he may just seem like a very different person. I think that there's a lot going on in his head, and it's not all because of you. So I wouldn't personalize everything that he's doing or saying, because it doesn't feel like it's just you. However, you might feel like a punching bag, so you probably need to bring that to his attention. I do think that he loves you. I just don't think he is right now in the best place to be able to handle the responsibilities of the marriage or to be able to put more into it at this point. Don't be surprised if you actually take a break and then he wants to work it out, because I can see the flip-flopping with him that may take place. Diet Coke and cake. That was my neighbor's dog. She comes out every day around the same time, so that was Rosie, her dog. I'm Sophia. Will my son ever get out of the vicious cycle of being bullied? So I actually think he will. However, I think that he's going to end up either getting into a program that has to do with, there's two things, because at some point I think he's going to actually work with people to be kind of like a coach or like a mentor. But that may be down the road. But as far as bullying is concerned, I think he's going to get into a physical activity that's like self-defense or kickboxing that may give him a little bit more of a feeling of confidence, either through the school or y'all just get him into something like this after an episode, just so that he's prepared to deal with situations like this. And I think that may actually make the difference. And I actually would say to you, because I know what it's like to be bullied and to deal with these kinds of situations, just get him into like self-defense or into martial arts, because it will change your mindset and it will give him confidence that he may not have had before. So even just doing that might make a difference for him. Okay. And I know that from experience, because that's something that helped me out tremendously. Tara the Explorer. Hi, Ferny. Do you see me getting into a serious and healthy relationship soon? So I feel like someone is going to pop back into your life that you may have already met or had an interest in. This may not be for another year and a half, maybe 2 at the most, but I feel like someone's going to pop back into your life. I also think that distance is going to be an issue, because they either live in a completely different state or they might live in a different country. So you may need to be prepared for that. But it does feel like an option that could work. But you would have to have a lot of faith and take the risk in possibly upending yourself, which may be the hardest part for you. So just FYI with that. But I do see you at some point moving to a different country or moving and living in a completely different place. Brittany South Houston. Hi, Ferny was laid off in July thinking of going the entrepreneur route. Any thoughts? So what I would say is this. If it's real estate, not a good idea because I keep seeing a slump with real estate over the next year. So started this summer. I know some people who are in real estate may not see it yet, but I feel that something has started this summer, 2021, that's going to carry over into almost the beginning of 2023. So I do see a slump in that market. Now, if you're in real estate or interested in real estate, I would look at commercial real estate, conversions. There's a lot of conversions, and also just getting into like upgrades or updates with properties that want to install solar or want to have like generators, because that's going to be in high demand, and you're going to see a huge market for that in the next year or so. But so energy, as far as renewable energies, some of that stuff is a great path to take for entrepreneurship or for business. Just basic real estate with like residentials, I'm not feeling as confident with, and I feel like we're going to go into a little bit of a slump, and also it's going to become more of a buyer's market than a seller's market. So that it may flip a little bit for a while. Right now, they're not seeing it and they're not thinking it's happening, but I feel like it's happening. And I'm already starting to see some inklings that it's coming down. And that's just talking about real estate. Now, I do think that there may be an opportunity that may come up for you that has more to do with you doing some branding, advertising, promoting, marketing kind of work, which I actually think would be a really good path for you. It's almost like these people who have small businesses or realtors who want and need an online presence or need to put themselves out there or to achieve, like to reach their audience. I feel like there's a need for that. And I think that not enough people understand the value of that. So if you want to go into that, I think that could definitely turn into something for you. Okay, I'm thinking that you'll dabble, but then there will be an opportunity that comes up in February, March through a relative or a friend of yours with their business or their organization, and then you might get into that instead. Just because people love the idea of having their own business. So like, I've always dreamt of having my own business. I'm like, okay, well, are you prepared for all the work that's gonna take? Because it's work to have your own business. Like it's not like, oh, like I just own my life and own everything, and I don't have to worry about. I'm like, gosh. You have to run your own business. Like you still have a business to run. You don't have the luxury of having a company to develop policies. You don't have the luxury of having everything handled for you and just getting your paycheck and then just filing your taxes. You got to go through this whole song and dance to have your own business. A lot of people don't have the temperament for that, but they act like they do. You're like, oh, I'm going to be a business owner. I'm like, girl, you're going to be sitting on your ass for the rest of your life. You ain't getting no business. Are you crazy? You can't even get up and make dinner for yourself. How are you going to have your own business? Like, just that's how people are. And I'm just like, girl, like wake up, girl. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. I'm not saying you could do it. I think you have the temperament. I'm talking about just like people who like to talk and don't do nothing. K to the Lopez. Hey Ferny, I feel like I am off mentally and spiritually. Any advice? First of all, get your hormones checked. I think some of this is hormonal. I don't think it's just like in your head. I think it's a physiological thing. So check your hormones. The second thing about this is I do think that what you're feeling isn't necessarily yours. And a lot of people are having this experience right now and they're personalizing it and thinking it's just them. If you've been feeling really tired, really drained, not very patient, if you've been feeling depressed, you haven't had any ambition or feeling the need to like get, do something. If you've been feeling any of those energies and then just feeling like you don't even want to get out of bed, or like you just like there's a fog over, first of all, make sure that there's no physical issue affecting you. But a lot of people who are emotional sensitives are definitely feeling that. I know because I've been feeling it, and it's not the easiest thing to maneuver or to work through. People may be wondering why I haven't done any videos yet right now, because I normally do videos halfway through. My energy's too low, and I'm like my energy's way too low, so I'm trying to like get it up and hoping that this will help bring my energy back up so I can connect and get them on board. But my energy's too low, so I'm like, okay, I don't think I'm gonna do videos today because I'm having trouble with my energy right now. And a lot of that has to do with sometimes there are just, if you're trying to stay cool, like, cold, if you're trying to stay cool and you're standing in the sun, good luck. And so right now, a lot of us energetically are standing in the sun and we're trying to stay cool, but our asses are on fire. So it's not happening. So whatever you're feeling is normal, and a lot of people are feeling it, just FYI. Let me try one. Let's try one video because I'm going to see if I can muster enough energy to do one. Okay, so let's give it a shot. Let's see. Let's see. Let's go. Let's give it a go. Hello.
Hi,
Hi, Mama. How you doing?
I'm okay.
Awesome. What do you want to ask me about?
I wanted to see if there's any advice or anything from my parents.
Mm-hmm. As far as what?
Any future moves I'm planning to make?
If they're gonna make any like relocations or moves?
Yes.
Yeah. There's actually going to be 3 moves. That's a lot. 3 moves. The first one may be a temporary move in the end of next year. So I want to say this is going towards the end of 2022.
Okay.
It feels temporary though. They may not even be moving away. They may just be moving out of their house or out of their home for a little bit and then moving back in. And then the next year, there's another actual move in December of 2023. That's the second move. Okay. That one seems like it could work. However, God, there's a lot. Then 2 years after that, there's another move. It's weird because it almost feels like the second move they make is to a property that they decide they're not going to stay at, or they decide to do something different with than what they originally thought they were going to do with it. And then the third move is when they actually move into a place that's more permanent and it's closer to y'all. So it feels like there's going to be 3 moves. One that's just temporary out of the house or out of the property. And then the second one is actually moving to another property or to another place. And then I want to say right after that, 2 years after that is when they actually make another move, which is the third move, which is a permanent move.
Okay.
Okay. So the question, where right now, where are they? Is it in the house that they're in, or is it like a rental or apartment?
No. It would be like for me, but my parents they both passed. But I wanted to see if they had any advice in regards, because we're planning something like a move.
No, I'm seeing like parents moving. So do y'all have other people like parents or in-laws?
I have my in-laws.
Okay, this is the in-laws then, because I'm seeing people like parents moving. So again, there's a first move. Where do they live right now, the in-laws?
Right here in the same city as we do.
Okay, got it. Do they live in a house, or they're like in a rental?
House.
Okay. They're not going to stay in that house. So they're going to end up, first of all, there's a temporary move next year. That's a temporary move. It feels like they're moving out of their home because there's either renovations, repairs, or something happening later next year. Okay. Then they move back in. So they may stay with y'all temporarily while that's all going on. And then the second move is they're moving to another property that either has land or acreage that is going to be where they thought they were going to want to be at, but then like after being there for a couple of years, like, we don't want to stay here. And then they end up moving again, which is like almost closer to y'all, or actually living with y'all. And then that may actually be what ends up staying as a permanent one, because it feels like they're going to live basically with y'all.
Oh,
and the third move, and then that works out fine. And then the second place of the property with the land ends up getting used in a completely different way.
okay.
Yeah. Had they already talked about wanting land or wanting property with land?
Yeah, it's because one of my my brother-in-law, he did move up to Hesperia, so
Mm.
I've been trying to like get convince him
Get them
to
to come move up there. Yeah. They're
go.
gonna do it, and then they're gonna regret it 2 years later. So then they're gonna move again. So
We're
they
actually,
might want to be prepared for that. Yeah.
yeah, we're actually trying to move out that way too. So that's why I
Yeah.
wanted to see if my parents had anything in regards to like that to see if it's a good thing from their end, you know.
So what was the question again? I'm sorry to catch that.
So we're trying to head out that way too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, to move over there? Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I wanted to see maybe if they had any advice for us.
Yeah, but are y'all? First of all, with you, let me focus on you for a second, then I'll connect with them. With y'all, are y'all trying to move and just buy land and then build on it?
No, we actually wanted something already like a newer build.
Okay. Yes. Well, here's the thing. I don't feel like y'all are just going to end up with like a newer build. I feel like y'all are going to end up buying land and then having something built on it. That's a little more custom or a little more to what y'all would want. It might turn out cheaper, and it also y'all are going to get a really good opportunity through a builder or through someone y'all know who is connected to a builder, which might make it easier for y'all. So that may work better for y'all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, parents. Your mom. Thank you. Your mom is making my nerves itch or my nerves twitch. Do you know if your mom was having some nerve-related issues or some nerve degradation before she passed?
Not nerves, not that I
Okay.
know.
There's a woman that's coming through that had a stroke or she had some nerve issues because she's acknowledging that her nerves were giving her problems and she didn't have a lot of motor control.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
She's connected to you, to your mom, or to that part of the family, and it's an older lady. So there's a lady who had nerve issues, had a stroke, or she could have had Bell's palsy, but there's something that was affecting her before she passed because she makes me feel like her nerves were giving her some issues. She also keeps acknowledging that she was losing feeling and sensation in her legs as well. You know what this reminds me of is whenever people have diabetes and they start having issues with circulation, but
Yeah,
I'm also seeing nerve issues as well. So this is a combination of issues.
maybe it might have been one of my grandmas, if anything. Maybe my grandma, but I'm not too sure.
Do you know there's a name connection to one of them with the Susie or Susanna? It sounds like that. It's like a Susia. It's got a Susa sounding name to it. So it's like a Susana sounding name that's connected to your mom's side of the family.
Not Sylvia. No, no, I don't think so.
Okay, there's a female on that side. She had a nerve condition or she had some nerve weirdness.
Okay.
She also might have had diabetes as well because she's making me feel like there was a loss of circulation to her legs or she couldn't feel her legs. I almost feel like she didn't actually have feeling of her legs and she might have been paralyzed halfway down her body because she's making me feel like there was some weird things going on with half of her body. But again, she keeps acknowledging something like this as well. She also makes me feel like people didn't fully understand her or she had a condition that also affected her mental. So she may have not had the normal capacities that some people have. So you know how sometimes people have conditions that they aren't able to. What I'm thinking of, thank you. She's showing me my aunt Elvia. My aunt Elva she thought her husband was having an affair, so she went out to a parking lot, shot herself in the head. She didn't die. She ended up spending the rest of her life, which was like 50 plus years, in a wheelchair, stuck to that chair as like a vegetable. But she didn't have like the ability to do stuff. So she's triggering that memory for me. So this female that I'm talking about, there was something going on where either she didn't have mobility or she had a nerve degradation that was affecting her ability to have any kind of regular like interaction. She might have not even been able to talk properly because she makes me feel like I'm only hearing like someone like like I'm hearing like I'm struggling with talking. Do you know of a female connected to your mom's side of the family who struggled with this kind of issue?
I don't.
And someone had to take care of her because she's acknowledging that someone had to take care of her and she couldn't do for herself.
And it would be from my mom's side?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm assuming I feel it's your family, but I'm thinking it's your mom's side of the family.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Not with that sounding name, at least, no. I'll have to look.
Okay. Even if the name doesn't fit, that's okay because sometimes they'll give me the name of someone they're with or someone that's here that is connected to them through you. But there's I'm thinking of Susie, and it's interesting because the woman that I'm talking about, that's my tia, her daughter's name was Susie, which is where I'm getting that whole Susanna sound from as well. There's something there that they're making reference to, so there's an acknowledgement there. Okay, let me see if I can get back to your mom for a second. She's acknowledging 2 babies. Have there been 2 babies that have been born since your mom's passing, or are there 2 babies on the way?
Yeah, 2 have been after.
Okay, she's aware of the 2 babies. She also keeps showing me the number 12 as well. Do you know if December or the 12th of a month is significant?
December, my daughter.
Okay. She also keeps acknowledging, she's repeating it again. Do you also know the 20th is also connected? Because she showed me the 20th.
The 20th?
Mm-hmm.
No.
It's around March or April, because she's showing me March or April. So March or April 20th.
No.
Okay. That's okay. I'll leave that with you. She's showing me the 20th as being connected. So it's either March or April the 20th. She's making reference to that. She also keeps, thank you. She also keeps acknowledging, do you have a Bible or a prayer book?
It's somewhere hidden, yeah, in my
Okay,
thing.
she's acknowledging that. She's laughing. And she's like, when are you going to go to church? So I don't know. So she's like, you need to go to church and ask for forgiveness. So she's like, think messing with you or giving you like a playful hard time. She also keeps it, thank you. Your mom, she's squeezing my hand. Were you with her when she passed, or were you with her? Because she's squeezing my hand. Okay, because she's acknowledging that. Did you give her permission to go, or did y'all give her permission to leave? Because she's thanking y'all for giving her permission. So she's acknowledging that. She also makes me feel like she started to hear music playing, or she started to hear music and sounds. And this is when she knew something was happening, because she said she started hearing the music or the sound. So she's making reference to this as well. She also says nothing could have been done for her. This was just not going to work. So she's acknowledging that this was the right decision. This was the right thing to happen. And she's thanking y'all for giving her a chance to be free. She also just said happy birthday. She's acknowledging your dad. Do you know if we're around a birthday, or we're within 30 days of birthday? And then is there a connection to your dad with this as well?
Mine's on the 2nd, and my dad's on the 3rd.
Perfect. So she's acknowledging this as well. So she's aware of this. She also says, she's blowing you kisses, like, so she's doing this. She's wanting to blow you kisses. She says she's proud of you. She says that you're a good mother. She also says, it's funny. She's telling your husband, your significant other, she's like, I'm watching you. I'm watching you. So to tell them that she's watching them, or she's keeping an eye out. She's also talking about the money that they may be spending sometimes that you're not supposed to know about. So just FYI. And she's talking about a vehicle or changes to a vehicle. So I don't know if he just recently spent some unexpected money on a vehicle, or he's been putting money towards something, but she's like, I'm watching you. So she's like doing something like that with him in the vehicle. So there's a reference there. Your dad's whistling. Do you know if he had a habit of whistling, or he liked to whistle? Because he's like whistling for me. Okay,
yeah.
He's like, so he's whistling. He also says, thank you. Do you know if he had a special thing for these cookies that he would always want to have with like coffee or with like milk?
Yeah.
There are these cookies that almost remind like the little Doña, I think it's like the Doña Ana's, or there's like the little cookies, the little like, do you remember those?
Yeah.
Okay, because he's acknowledging it. His mouth doesn't hurt either. So he says he can eat now and his mouth doesn't hurt. So he's acknowledging this as well. So I don't know if he was having difficulty biting down, or he couldn't eat certain foods because he says that there were some issues digesting, or issues being able to take some stuff in. So do you know if your dad was having some digestive issues before he passed?
I don't. I just know
he's doing this like he couldn't eat certain things, or he couldn't eat certain foods. And I want to say it has to do with sugar, but he's acknowledging not being able to eat certain things or certain foods because he's making references. Again, he says his mouth doesn't. Did your dad have a couple of teeth that were hurting or that were a bit rotted? He's talking about not being able to eat something and it would affect his mouth.
I mean, he never mentioned anything. He was, like macho, but he wouldn't really mention anything.
Do y'all remember seeing like a little bit of darkness or a little bit of like inflammation on the side of his mouth whenever his mouth would be open? Do you remember something like that?
I never noticed.
Okay, there's something there. It's gonna sound weird because I'm hearing a name. Is there an Oswaldo?
Waldo?
Aldo, Oswaldo, there's like an OS sounding name that he's trying to give me. Do you know there's an OS, Oswaldo, not Oscar. It's like Oswaldo. There's a name like that he's making reference to. So
No.
dad is acknowledging that name. He's talking about this mouth issue and then not being able to eat and then these cookies. There's something that your dad is making reference to. So you might have to ask your family because he's making reference to something like that.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have his hat?
I think one of like his cowboy hats, like vaquero hats.
Okay. Because he's acknowledging his hat. So he's acknowledging having his hat. He's also putting it on you and he's talking about the rodeo. So you have permission to wear it if you want
Ask you
to.
one thing quick about him. Since he did pass away, literally the next day after my birthday, we weren't in good terms then. Is there anything that he, like, does he forgive me for not speaking to him then, or?
He laughs. He's laughing. He's fine. He's not upset with you because he was laughing. I almost like he likes being right or he likes feeling like he got the last word in. So he's okay. He's fine with it. He doesn't want you to worry about it. He says he's tried to tell you that you're okay and that he says we're cool or we're good. That's how he puts it. So he's acknowledging it in that way. But he sends birds. So white doves are going to be a sign from your daddy.
White doves.
Okay. And if you see them in the flowers or in the trees, that's him.
Okay. Any certain things from my mom, like because I would see a lot of either butterflies or what are they called?
The butterflies are from a baby that didn't make it.
Baby. Okay.
Okay. So there was a baby that was miscarried, lost, or terminated, or didn't make it. That's the butterfly. The butterfly is connected to a baby.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Mama. Well, let me let you go. You take care of yourself, okay?
I love you.
Love you too, sweetheart. Bye, Mama. All right, guys, I am done. So I'm getting off here now. I'm going to come back on here for our study group. So I was able to get one out. All right, guys, I love you all. And I will talk to you all next week, okay? Bye.